All right.
Okay. Hello, my name is Eric Deloach, and I'm host of Black Authors and Others. And today we have a special guest that's here, and it's exciting. And we'll just get started as usual, and we'll allow him to introduce himself, and we will go from there. Yes, sir.
Hey, Eric. Hey, what an opportunity to be here with you and your audience. It's a true pleasure. My name is Shawn Hill. I'm the LinkedIn coach, and I help entrepreneurs uh, generate revenue on LinkedIn. You know, LinkedIn can be a very kind of a nuanced platform, a social media platform. A lot of us heard of it, may have some profiles over there, but really don't know how to really maximize the platform itself. And so, what I do is I help entrepreneurs really find their footing, find their voice, and have success over on that platform. So it's great to be here with you and great to have this opportunity to talk to your wonderful audience.
Absolutely. Um, well, let's start here. Where did you grow up, and where are you from? Yeah, where were you born, and where did you grow up? Sorry.
Absolutely, no worries. I make it easy on your audience. I was born and raised in Dallas, Texas. I've been here all my life. You know, Dallas is a pretty kind of metropolitan city, so we have a lot of people that are in and out. So it's rare that you find somebody that was actually born and raised here. But yeah, I was born and raised in Dallas and have been here all my life and really enjoy the city. Now we kind of live out in one of the suburbs, Carrollton, but yeah, still kind of in that same DFW metroplex.
Right. I actually went to school, grad school at Texas Southern University in Houston, and I remember I think we had some type of convention or something that was close to Dallas, around Dallas. So yeah, it's a beautiful, definitely a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you consider yourself, I guess, as this coach, a creative type person of the arts? How would you define just yourself in that regard?
Well, sure, sure. I think the most creative thing that I do is me, along with my co-host Tommy Durrell. We
Okay.
have a show on LinkedIn Live
Mhm.
Monday through Saturday, and
Okay.
so that's kind of and we talk about entrepreneurship. We talk about mindset. We talk about LinkedIn. So just to help entrepreneurs take their businesses to the next level. So going live on LinkedIn is really that's the creative part because it
Right.
really gives you an opportunity to really bond with your audience. You know, you can upload video to LinkedIn, but there's
Mhm.
nothing like engaging with people, being live, being able to feel that energy and get that feedback. So I guess in that respect, I'm a creative. That's my creative side. Other than that, as a coach, teacher, that's more one-on-one or in small or in groups where I go with them and help them one-on-one or in groups, optimize their profile on LinkedIn, give them some strategy about LinkedIn. So that's really the other side of what I do. But man, just love being out here helping people, seeing people have success. That's really important to me.
Yeah. Well, tell me, uh, you got a segment of people that, just kind of touch this computer just to maybe just the children get them involved, or then you have some that are just advanced people that can do, that could go to space almost. Yeah, with internet, and you got the kids that are even more advanced than the
That's
advanced
true.
adults. So
That's
tell us
true.
about, yeah, absolutely. Tell us about what about your work. Give us a kind of, let's say for somebody that's that deals with the internet when they have to, just kind of basic, is kind of foreign to them. What how would you describe yourself and what you do?
Yeah, for that person really would want to reach out to me. Not that LinkedIn is hard, because guess I won't say it's hard. It's just a lot of different segments to it, a lot of
Mhm.
different kind of moving parts to it. If that person can have a Facebook profile, if they can have an Instagram profile, they can be on LinkedIn. So it's not really you have to have a lot of technical knowledge. It's more about thinking of LinkedIn as a networking event. So if you and I were at a networking event, I'd come up to you, I'd say, hey, Eric, my name is Shawn. And of course you'd say, I'm Eric. And we talk a little bit about each other. That's really the power of LinkedIn, is the networking ability. Just like you and I, we met on LinkedIn. I would not be here on your show if it was not for that platform. So the advantage that people have is the opportunity to really get to know people a little bit better. It's also a more professional platform, right? So I always say LinkedIn is kind of like the networking event, where Facebook is kind of like you go to Applebee's or Chili's after work, you hang out, you have some fun, you talk about the food, the sports, and things like that. Or LinkedIn is more that networking event where you meet people, you kind of, have that more professional atmosphere. Not that it doesn't have to be stuffy and you have to have a tie on or anything like that, but it's usually just more about meeting people and networking and building those relationships, just like we have here. And so that's what I would say to that person. Don't let LinkedIn scare you. Don't let it be foreign to you. Get in, meet people, have fun. And that's what I would say, is just, I really encourage people to just get on the platform and just use it.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. One quick
Sure.
second.
Sure.
One quick second.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, just something I had to do real quick. I'm sorry.
No
Okay.
problem. No problem.
Okay.
No worries.
Yeah. So okay, so let's go here. You are I say an individual. Okay, you're on LinkedIn, and I guess the normal individual, they get on LinkedIn. Oh, this is a nice community network, and maybe they have a business or something, and like, okay, well, I see all these people in here, and I may know a few people. Where do they go from there? Just kind of being a baby with LinkedIn, how can they, with your help, take advantage of it? Let's say, the obvious. Let's say that they have a YouTube show, as I have now, and they reach out to people, but how would they enhance themselves if they came out, sir, I need some help from you?
Sure.
What would be the steps? How would everything go? Kind of.
Sure, absolutely. That's a great question. Great question. First thing you want to start with is what's called an optimized profile, right? Because if you send out connection requests to people, they're just going to come check you out. They're just going to come check out your profile. If your profile doesn't look professional, they're really not going to take you very seriously. So that's step one. When I work with people, that's the foundation. So if we think about a house, before we start putting up walls and a roof, we have to set the foundation, right? And so the foundation of success on LinkedIn is getting your profile optimized. And there's a lot of different things that go into it, but not to overwhelm people. Really, the three main points is you want to have a good profile photo, looking forward, smiling, looking approachable. You want to have a good headline that tells what you do and who you do it for. And you want to have a good about section. Your about section actually tells your story, right? Because other people may have the same business. They may have even gone to the same schools that you had or had the same jobs that you had, but nobody has your unique story. So that your about section is where people really come to get a sense of who you are. So we start with the profile, we get that looking good. And here's one of the biggest mistakes that people make is they just don't send out enough connection requests to the right people. So either they're just sending them out just to random people, or they're waiting for people to come and approach them. you have to be proactive on LinkedIn, not reactive. So that starts with you understanding and knowing who's your ideal client, who's your target market, what service do you provide to that client. And now, just like with your show, then you create content that may serve that client, that may be of interest to that client. So those are kind of steps. You get your profile right, you get your ideal customer client right, then you start reaching out and making those connections.
Okay. Now, what had been your experience? I mean, say that you took a fairly kind of beginner type person. Can you tell us, is there any result measurement, or you can you say, like, I took that person from A to Z, and because of my coaching, they understood better, and we were able to implement a program that kept them from virtually an unknown to somewhat as semi-popular to a very popular person. Can you give us, I guess, a verbal example of something that, I mean,
Sure.
of kind of something that happened that changed the person's business?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. One of the main things I do is I offer a free profile review. And what I would, my name is Shawn Hill on LinkedIn. But if you want to get on my calendar, just go to www.ShawnEHill.com and you can get on my calendar for a free profile review. The reason I say that is if you go to my profile, my LinkedIn profile now, you'll see over 150 recommendations of people that I helped. And that's another thing that's really, really important on your profile. Eric, I've seen so many people, they'll have 20,000, they'll have 30,000 followers, but they won't have any recommendations. And recommendations are so critical because they're third-party verification that you can actually help people, right? That you've actually provided some service to them. And so it doesn't look really good for you to have all these followers, but not one or two followers are able to say that you've even helped them with anything. And so that's where you can see, I mean, I one of actually the person that's co-hosting with me now, our show is one of my students. And I've just seen him grow so tremendously on LinkedIn. His name is Tommy Durrell, great guy. Really came in not knowing a lot about LinkedIn. And now he is just really, really advanced, so much so that I'm just proud of him, proud to have him as a co-host on my show, and just really seen him have success in his own business. And I think that's the fun for me, is to see people come on this platform, make connections like we're doing, and then partner and collaborate with each other and have success.
Right. So I guess you kind of help a person market themselves in a much more professional manner than what they think they may be marketing themselves in the LinkedIn community.
Absolutely.
And then I guess, I don't know, that you would probably look through their community and make suggestions on, okay, well, this is your customer type, but look for people like this. Are you able to view and see, okay, you really have about 5,000 people that would be in need of your service, and you didn't even, you only looked at the people that messaged you. For, they may have looked at just the people that messaged them, that where maybe, I don't know, maybe 60% are not even their customer base, but you may have looked into their LinkedIn community and say, oh no, you actually have about 5,000 people that you haven't even tapped into. So let's give them the right message, kind of introduce ourselves as a professional person, and go from there. Is it something along those lines?
You hit it perfectly. It's really not just even with the people that you've already connected to, but also in building your network, right? When you build it out right, then you don't have to build it over, is what I like to say. And one of the things that I've helped people with is only 3% of LinkedIn members all over actually post, even create content on LinkedIn.
Wow.
So just getting people to post is helping them out. 97% of LinkedIn members are just lurkers. They just kind of come on the platform. They kind of, move around, but they don't really post. So just getting people to actually post something of value is a step in the right direction. But then here's what's really important. I just had a meeting with a potential client yesterday. And one of the things we looked at is what he's posting. And so he's in the travel industry. And so we looked at what he's posting. And I just asked him, I said, okay, you're posting about 5 times a day, which is way too many, way too many. Really, you need to post about 1 to 3, one time a day, because people just don't on LinkedIn like that, right? It's not Facebook, it's not Instagram, where people are just constantly on there, they're refreshing, they're waiting for the latest post. That's not how that platform is. They'll come on there, they'll spend a few moments, and then they're gone. So for you to be posting 5, 6, 7 times a day is just, you're working too hard and you're working against yourself. So, but that was one of the things that we looked at. The second thing that we looked at was, what is he posting? So we looked at what he was posting, and it was just a lot of, random posts, but nothing was about travel. Nothing was about travel. So then I asked him, I said, okay, of these posts that you're posting, which of these posts would let me know that you're the person I need to come to for travel? And he said, none of them. And so that's the type of help I provide a person. And I'm just saying this because if we had never had that free consultation, he would have continued to do that. He would have continued on down that road, working hard, but not being productive. So we can be busy, but we can, not be productive. And here's what I want. I want people to be productive, not just busy.
Right. Is there various ways that we may not? Okay, I'm thinking now. Okay, you can create some type of way that you can go to post, and then it's in the general. It goes through a cycle or whatever. People rotation or something. Also, are there sub communities? Black authors or something, for example, that you can post just privately to them. What are some of the possibilities? And then I guess I suspect people kind of are amateurs in creating, a post that is just kind of basic, or it's that they really don't know how to properly create a post an ad, and then it's okay, well, this guy's or this lady or whatever person is not serious. I wouldn't be interested. What I'm saying?
Sure.
Talk about those things, I guess.
Sure, absolutely. So one of the things is there are communities, they're called groups, right? So there's a Black authors group. There's actually a Black LinkedIn group, and they actually meet on Sundays on Clubhouse from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern time. And a great group of professionals, great area for networking. So I would definitely encourage people to take advantage of that if you are on Clubhouse. But yeah, their groups. Here's the problem with the groups is there's not a lot of engagement, but the groups are great for kind of networking to go and meet people, right? So you'll see, you kind of figure if you're in a group of Black authors, most of these people are authors, right? So you can get in there. And here's what I encourage people to do though, is go check out a few profiles. Don't always just send connection requests to just, anybody in the group. Here's what you want to look for. When you go on that person's profile, look at their activity, right? Look at their activity. See if they're posting, see if they're engaging with other people, because here's what happens on a lot of times is people will have a profile up and may have joined a group, but they might not have been back to their profile in, 3, 4, 6 months, a year. And so you'll just have a lot of what I call dead weight on your profile. Well, I mean, you'll send out the connection request. They won't even receive it because they don't see it. So you really want to get people who are active on the platform and active in the community. That's the goal. That's what you really want.
Right. So, but are there like a group, I just want to post to this group, or do you have to post to the whole general I mean, something that's targeted to them, but you have to
Mhm.
post to the whole LinkedIn community.
Well, you can kind of niche it down. You can post and you can segment it out to like post it to anyone. There's not really a group, function where you can say, oh, I'm only going to post it to Black authors or just
Right.
this group. Uh, so that's why I say the more that you can cultivate your following up front. So if I'm on LinkedIn and that's my target market, then that's the majority of who I'm going to reach out to. That's the majority of who I'm going to accept. In the very beginning, you may accept connection requests from just anybody and everybody because you're trying to build up your network, so that's okay. But as you kind of mature, I'd say after you get about maybe 500 people, then you need to be really selective about who you accept as your as a connection request. And the quality of requests are usually going to be better that you send out than that you receive in. That's why I always tell people you have to be proactive if you want the best quality people in your network.
Right, right. What do you recommend people? What do you recommend to people in terms of creating a professional looking post that, oh, this is a, for yourself in a media, a LinkedIn coach that,
Mhm.
instead of just an amateur type of presentation yourself, how do you need to go to Fiverr,
No, no,
Upwork? Where do you go to
no,
really create something that's presentable that people would say
sure.
to link onto?
Sure, sure. You don't have certainly don't have to do all that. I don't want people trying to overthink this. Is if you can post on Facebook, you can post on LinkedIn. Here are some posts that work well. A poll, something a poll that's relevant to what you do. A poll
Yes.
that could be if you're an author, it could
Right.
be what's your favorite type of genre, right?
Right.
Fiction, action. So if you have a group of authors in your community,
Mhm.
they're going to be engaged in it, and polls are real easy to create. What I would encourage people is to think of value, right?
Right.
So what is it that my audience is struggling with, and how can I provide value to that audience? What can I provide as a solution to that audience? So like for me, I provide, LinkedIn tips. I provide tips on how to, have success in their business. So that would be my audience. That's what I'm providing for them. Unfortunately, so many posts are just random kind of here, look at me, here I am, here's my greatness, all this other, but they don't provide value. They don't solve a problem. And so people keep scrolling. It's like, well, that's not interesting because I don't have those problems. You haven't solved anything that I have. And so that's what I would say is you really want to post something that's value. You want to
Right.
post something that's value. Also, you want to have an idea as people are scrolling, what can stop the scroll? So pictures, right? A picture can stop it. So if I'm posting now, I probably include a picture, a headline, something captivating. You want to keep your post within 2 to 3 sentences, kind of piece, and have a lot of white space, because if you have a lot of blocky sentences together, it looks too hard to read. And 70% of people will see your post on their mobile phone. And so on a computer, the spacing looks different, but on a mobile phone, if something looks too difficult to read, people just won't even bother reading it.
Wow. Wow. How big is LinkedIn these days? I mean, let's say compared to YouTube or Facebook, or just the sheer somewhat in the neighborhood of the size of LinkedIn. How would you say
Sure.
it's a pretty big community or
Huge,
mid-sized?
huge. It has over 700 million professionals.
Wow.
700 million professionals. So I think that's kind of the distinction. Facebook, I think, has over 2 billion. And so it has a bigger group, but no other platform has as many professionals as LinkedIn. So you will definitely find your community there. If it's great for what's called B2B, which is business to business. So it is the best platform for business to business. 80% of business to business leads are found on LinkedIn. Even what's called B2C, which business consumer, is still a great platform for that. But if you're looking for a professional, if you're looking to get into corporate America where you can go in and present to them, that's the platform you have to be on. Have to be on there.
Okay. Is it also good, let's say for young people, different people to connect and find jobs?
Absolutely. Well, absolutely. That actually was how LinkedIn started and is still used primarily. Remember, 60% of jobs are never advertised. You know, the 60% of jobs are filled through what? Word of mouth, networking. By the time they're posted, it's usually a done deal. They may have to post it for legal reasons or things like that, but usually people refer people to jobs. And so it's important to have that network, make those connections. One of the important things that most people don't think of doing when making those connections is what we call informational interviews. In other words, I know Bill is an engineer at IBM. I want to be either at IBM, or maybe I just want to be an engineer. It's real easy for me to reach out to Bill and say, hey, Bill, hey, I love to connect with you. I love to go into this field, and I just like to have 15 minutes of your time to find out how you like it and some things like, guess what? Bill's going to feel like a superstar because he's probably an engineer. He probably has never had somebody approach him professionally, right? Like that, and say, hey, can you tell me about what you do? I admire what you do. I really have been looking into getting into that profession. I'd love to just connect with you. Now, guess what? Now you have a relationship with Bill. Now you can kind of build that relationship over time. It's certainly not I get approached like this all the time. Maybe you do too. Hey, I saw that you work with ABC company. Do you know if they're hiring? No, that's definitely not the way you want to go, because for the most part, unless that person's in HR, they may be in a department that either they're not over hiring or they don't even have an idea if that person is hiring. So you really want to be more selective and professional in how you're approaching people.
Right. And from the business aspect, what are the, I mean, you might have already said it, but what's the approach and what's the advantages of using LinkedIn there?
Yeah, absolutely. It's building that network, right? So here's one of the things that most people do that is just you don't want to do, is you don't want to sell in that first message. So many messages we get on LinkedIn is these long, huge paragraphs with a link at the end, and they don't even know you.
Right.
Hey, I have this fantastic whatever it is, and this is all this information. Here's my link. Hey, let's jump on a Zoom. Let's see how I can help you out. Blah, 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 blah. You haven't asked me any questions. You don't even know if I could use your service. It's just spam. And so what I would encourage people to do is ask about that other person first. At least ask, hey, Eric, we've connected. I really appreciate you, brother. I really appreciate some of the things that you're doing. Can you tell me a little bit more about your business? Can you tell me a project that you're working on? What is it that you're trying to accomplish on LinkedIn? Act like you're trying to get to know the person. Don't just act like it, but think about putting that other person first, and then build that relationship. And as you go on, that person will become more comfortable with you. But there's just so many people on LinkedIn that just spam people that puts a bad taste in people's mouths. And so I think that's the biggest mistake that most businesses make, is in that first message, or really soon after that first message, they're selling hard, they're going hard for the sale instead of building the relationship.
Right. And what do you, I mean, so again, how would you define what is LinkedIn, just for people that may be up and coming that haven't gotten a LinkedIn account? And so just tell us again, what is LinkedIn in your expert opinion?
Sure. LinkedIn is a professional social media platform. So if you can think of Facebook, if you can think of Instagram, those are just social media platforms. Clubhouse is another social media platform. So LinkedIn is a social media platform, is just for professionals. So the same, just like you have a profile on Facebook, you would have a profile on LinkedIn, is just geared more towards business oriented professional conversations. So that's kind of the big difference. is that you are trying, your ideal is to try to build your network. Whether there's normally three reasons people on LinkedIn: to find a job, to find clients, or to what's called build their brand, right? So maybe I have a job, I'm not looking for another job, but I just want to get out there. I want to build my network. I want people to know who I am. So those are really the three reasons that people are on LinkedIn for the most part: finding a job, to find clients, or to build their brand, build out their network.
Definitely. Now, how do you go about? Because I had a associate of mine in the media. I'm in the book world and I'm in the media world, whether I like it or not, which is great. Yeah, so I like it. So the person asked me, they wanted to get help in trying to get a LinkedIn Live. Is it kind of like a YouTube show, but it's a LinkedIn show?
Yes and no. See, link well with YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. All you have to do is push a button and you go live. You're
Right.
good to go. So anybody and everybody has that ability if they want to use it. With
Right.
LinkedIn, it's a little different, right? So you
Right.
actually have to apply. So, but I mean, the easiest way to do, go to Google, how to apply to get LinkedIn Live, and you'll apply. It used to be back in the day, they weren't accepting a lot of people. It was like really, really difficult to get it. Now they've been accepting a lot more people because they want more live video content,
Right.
because it's the live video that is really driving a lot of engagement. You can post a video and get engagement, but being live, that's where you get the most engagement. In fact, LinkedIn will send out messages to your audience. Hey, Eric's going live. Eric's going
Right.
live. Check them out. And so, yeah, you can get it. And it's not hard. You just have to Google it, apply for it, and they've made it a lot more easier.
What does it? It's okay. It's a select person that's selected, of course, with
Mhm.
LinkedIn. And does it work in a LinkedIn environment like a YouTube? I mean, YouTube is kind of like everybody,
Mhm.
is has access to it. But is
Mhm.
this giving access to a a group of people on LinkedIn, and it's a kind of
Mhm.
a LinkedIn thing?
Yes,
Sure.
sure. It gives access to people that are on your platform, right? On the LinkedIn platform. So if you're active, and normally it's going to be you're connected with that person, but even if you're not connected, if they like it, they can see it. But it's open to everybody. Or you can kind of select who can see it and things like that. The main thing is that you want to think about is, it's live. So I can be active, I can be engaging with my community. And that's the beauty of it, is that you get a chance to go live and, hopefully have something to say, have guests on. We, like I said, we do it 6 days a week. We've seen our audience just grow tremendously, and it's no other place where you can build those relationships like you can live, because people keep coming back and seeing you again and again. And that's one of the keys. One of the tips I would give your audience is, if you go live, be consistent. So if you go live once a week, say, hey guys, I'm going live every day at 10 o'clock every day. I'm sorry, I'm going live every Monday at 10 a.m. It's like a
Right.
TV program, right? You want that consistency. So you don't want to go live at Monday at 10, now Tuesday at 6, then Wednesday at 5. And so your audience just never knows when they can find you. So you want to be consistent as possible with when you go, and have a consistent message.
Right. So you with yours, you're coaching people, kind of giving them tips
Mm-hmm.
and kind of directing them how to use LinkedIn properly, for advertisement and for
Yes.
just networking. That's what your program is about.
Yes, it's about building their brand. See,
Okay, about
everybody
building.
needs to have a brand. And I know that sounds like maybe technical for some people. A brand is all only what people think about you. That's right.
Okay.
So you have a brand, Eric. So there's certain things when people mention Eric Deloach, oh yeah, YouTube. He's got it. The YouTube. I see him all the time on YouTube. That's the YouTube guy. Oh yeah, yeah, that. So it's
Yeah.
what people think about you, and that's what you want to craft, is what is the image? What do I
Right.
want people to think about when they think about me. And that's kind of what people really get lost in. That's why I was talking to that gentleman the other day. His brand was confused.
Okay.
He is in travel,
Mhm.
but all you're posting has nothing related to do with travel. So
Right.
how would anybody know that they would come to you for their travel tips? For, I mean, to plan a vacation? They
Right.
wouldn't. They
Correct.
wouldn't. And so that's one of the things that I hope to encourage people. You have to be consistent. Not saying that you have to talk about the same thing all the time, but people need to know what you do.
Right.
See, people don't know me for Instagram. They
Right.
don't know me for Facebook. They
Right.
know me for LinkedIn.
Right. Right.
I have some knowledge on those other platforms. I could help them with those other platforms. But what I want people to know me for is this platform. And so that's the key, is you want to be known for something.
Definitely. Let me ask you this. Let me just give you an example. Okay.
Mhm.
I'm venturing out into independent films as another media thing. And in terms of documentaries in particular, first, but we'll do other independent films as well.
Mhm.
With that, if I created a documentary about COVID and I interviewed people and all that, how could I come to you and expose that film and get, it could be, I wouldn't say necessarily fun, it could be funding, or it could be purchase of that film, or kind of just watch count, people watching the film. What would you do in that situation if I came to you? Maybe I don't even know exactly what to do. You have the knowledge and expertise. Okay, this is what we're going to do to move, knowledge of this film or interest in this film. What would you do from if I came to you with a documentary talking about COVID-19?
Absolutely. So what you want to always think about is, who is my end user? Who am I targeting this to? So with the documentary, you could have a lot of customers. You could have a lot of end users. So one end user could be the people you want to see the documentary. So let me just give you an example. So let's say, for instance, I want to put out little snippets of this documentary to get people interested in enough in it to actually buy the documentary. That's one client. But a totally different client is, let's say I want to produce a documentary, but then I want somebody else to fund it. I want somebody else to take that documentary and go and do something with it. See, that's a different client. So the same thing that's interesting to a customer who wants to view the documentary is going to be totally different for a person that wants to fund it, who's looking for documentaries to go out there and fund. And so that's where one of the biggest areas where people make mistake is they don't think of who their customer is, because their customer has different needs. So that, and I don't know this, I'm totally making this up. So let's say, for instance, that as a person that's looking to fund documentaries, I'm looking for documentaries to be a certain type of way. So I want them to be short. I want them to be snappy. I want them to be da 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 da. And then also, maybe I produce a certain type of documentary. That's where the research comes. That's where the research comes in. So if I only do, we'll just make up something. I only do documentaries about the Vietnam War. That's my thing. You coming to me about COVID, it's really not my ballpark.
Right.
So that's why I say you have to do the homework, you have to do the research, because just because somebody's a producer or a funder or whatever, a director, whoever you're looking to attract, you have to know that person. That's where LinkedIn comes in handy. You can find out those things where on a Facebook, on an Instagram, you're not finding those type of things out about that person. So in that case, or in that person's case, I would say begin with the end in mind. Who am I? What am I trying to accomplish? Am I trying to sell this documentary individually so that I can put it on my profile and people can actually reach out to me and buy it? Am I trying to get this funded for a project? Am I trying to get a grant for the documentary? So there's just different people that you have to look at, but it can't be all of them, right? So you just can't keep creating content. Well, I want to do this and it'll hit everybody, because it just doesn't work that way.
Correct. What has been what I guess what would have been one of your interesting clients? I mean, maybe you don't want to share the name, but what has been kind of exciting client, and you saw them from ground zero to where they are now. I mean, I guess it could
Yes.
possibly be your co-host. You said he was from ground zero, and now he is kind of grown under
Yes.
your mentoring. Yes.
Yes. That's so exciting. I've had so many students who've done that, not to his level, right?
Right.
But so many that have started out at zero on LinkedIn or very little, and with just my coaching, I now see them blossoming. I now see them getting clients. I now see them branding themselves. I now see them creating their message. I now see them reaching out and being engaged and being more active in the community. That's one of the things that I want to encourage your audience to do, is become part of the community. And what do I mean by that? You don't want to do what I call show up and throw up. In other words, you show up on the platform and throw up a profile and just think the magic's going to happen. It doesn't
Right.
happen like that. You have to get out in the community. What does that mean? That means you have to engage with other people, right? You have to engage with other people. You have to send out those connection requests, become part of the community. And the more you do that, the more you see you're going to blossom, the more success you're going to have. And it's just going to be a great thing for you. But yeah, I think that's Eric, that is the most encouraging thing. I'll give you a perfect example.
Yes.
The travel agent that I met with the other day, just that 15-minute consultation to hear the light bulbs go on for him, to help move him in a different direction. Because Eric, he was working hard. It wasn't a fact that he wasn't a hard worker. It's just the fact that he was doing the wrong work, right? So just because you go faster in the wrong direction doesn't mean you're going to get to your destination any faster. You're
Right.
just going to you're just going to get lost quicker. And that's what so many people are doing. They're getting lost. They're working hard and they're
Right.
not having results because they're not doing the right things.
Wow. Now I know, like on YouTube, I haven't gotten into that yet. But they have their live is, I think that people can come on, and if they make a comment, they will pay, I don't know, $1, $2. If they make a super chat, you may have seen, then they put a donation for 10, 15, I've seen $200.
Sure.
Does LinkedIn, is their live similar to a YouTube live, or it's just kind of like people just come and watch and it's not any donations or anything
Yeah,
going towards the person?
absolutely. Yeah, it's not monetized as of right now. Now there's
Okay.
some talks that's the direction they want to go down, right? So
Right.
there's some talks of that. As of right now, the biggest thing that your live will do is create curiosity,
Okay.
build your engagement with your audience. See,
Right.
nobody, there's nothing like video that really
Right.
gets your personality out there. Everything else is kind of two-dimensional, right? Everything else
Right.
is just your face and things like that. Live video that's unscripted, that you're just talking, really separates you, because a lot of people are afraid to do video. So
Right.
you've already separated yourself from that group. Then a
Right.
lot of people are afraid to do live. Everything has to be rehearsed. It has to be edited. I have to
Mhm.
have all this stuff. By going live, you're moving just ahead of your competition.
Okay. Okay. Let me ask you this: it's a comparison with YouTube. Do you have, at a certain point, where they allow you to have commercials, to where there's money made there, um, and also views? If you get X number of views, are their money ties in there? That LinkedIn hadn't quite got to that level. It hasn't decided to monetize like that yet.
Not yet. No. Those are great questions, because that's kind of more of a YouTube model, and they probably will go down that avenue. As of right now, is just strictly you going live. Now you can,
Mhm.
obviously, it's your profile, right? You can do commercials for, if you want to. You can reach out to different sponsors and say, hey, I have X number of views. I have X number of engagement on my lives. I'd love to have you as a sponsor. You can work your own deals. But as
Right.
of right now, there's nothing that LinkedIn is doing that's going to be commercials on your program, and I like it like that.
Okay. 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 Well, I mean, what I see too is that on YouTube, people will through the show, and as the live is going on, okay, there's no commercials. But after it's done and it's a
Yes.
finished product, then commercials are added to the product.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this.
LinkedIn doesn't do that. So once you're, well, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, well, I was just saying, once your program is finished, they don't come back in. But I know what you're talking about. That's their kind of business model. So you can like have commercials in it, like every other however many segments that they have. LinkedIn doesn't do that. So once your program is finished, it's a complete program. They don't go back in and go back in and add commercials after that.
Can you? So once your program is finished, you can still that's your. Here we go. That's why I see you still as a person of the arts. You created content. You're content creator. So therefore, you are a person of the art. Believe it or not. Okay, so you're a creative person. So once it's done, can you can't put a commercial on it or whatever, but you can post it to people, or you know what I'm saying? It's not like it's one-time deal and that's it.
No. In fact, one of the best things to do is to repurpose it. So I use StreamYard. As my platform to go live on LinkedIn, right? Okay. So once I finish with a show, I can download that video, I can upload it to YouTube, I can upload it, as long as it's within certain parameters. It has, just certain size limits and things like that. But I can upload it to YouTube. I can upload it to my website. I can upload it. So there's certain things you can do with everyone has a link. So you can go and share that link on Twitter. You can go and edit it and just slice out certain sections. Here's what I would not do. Now I see people do this all the time. They'll do like a Facebook Live. They'll do like a LinkedIn Live. Then they'll upload that live to YouTube. Well, it's a different platform, right? So when somebody's on YouTube, normally they're looking for information. Right. And so you don't want them looking for information delayed by you saying, hey, Eric, how's it going? I'm glad you're here. Jump in the comments. That's the live. But if you want to just have something for YouTube, make an 8-minute video, about the same subject matter, but some people try to save time, but they're actually not helping themselves because it just doesn't do as well. One platform or one format doesn't usually translate well to a different format.
Okay. What got you started as becoming a coach? LinkedIn. Tell us about that.
Oh, I love to. I don't know if your audience is familiar with the guy. His name's Gary V. He's kind of a business, guru is kind of like just a generic term, but he's really a sharp businessman. So I follow him a lot, and I was listening to one of his talks. He said at that time, there's 2 platforms you need to be on. He said, because of the organic reach, the reach that you can get from posting content. He said TikTok and LinkedIn. Okay. Well, my phone at that time was so crappy, it wouldn't even let me download TikTok. And so I tried to download it, wouldn't even let me get to it. My wife said, sweetheart, that's probably a good thing. You didn't need to be on TikTok dancing with those kids anyway. So I said, okay, fine. I'm not going to be on TikTok. But I said, you know what? I know I do have a LinkedIn profile. Right. And so I went, I got back on LinkedIn. And as I was doing my research and studying how to update my profile, I kept seeing a lot of mistakes that other people were making. Okay. And so I would just reach out to them and say, hey, I have a few tips that I can help you with. Would you be interested in me doing a free profile review for you? A lot of people said, yeah. And a lot of people then wanted to work with me because I had already helped them get to that point. And so one thing led to another. I started off in helping people, in the career sector, upgrade their LinkedIn profile to help them find a job. But my passion has always been entrepreneurship. My passion has always been working with small businesses. So I just moved over into working with small businesses and just made that transition.
Wow. So you just were able to see that you had a talent and gift and people presenting themselves properly as a brand, and then you have since kind of really work with people to make them their best version of themselves as a brand on LinkedIn.
Absolutely. And that's what I encourage anybody to do. A lot of times, Eric, we only think that we are capable of doing things that somebody else pays us for, a job pays us for. There's nothing wrong with jobs. There's nothing wrong with jobs. But it just took initiative. I didn't have to go to university for it. And I have a degree and I have
Right.
student loans to prove it.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I'm doing this. It didn't
Yeah.
cost me anything.
Right.
All it cost me was reaching out to people, hearing a few no's, whatever, but just working in my passion, because I have a passion to teach and coach and manage and help people. And so I just took a skill and I
Right.
just reached out to people and I said, hey, is this something that you could use? A lot of people said yes. And one thing led to another. And now I'm blessed. I'm truly blessed to be able to do this full time now. And it's just been wonderful.
Right. Now, how would do people, if you may give them kind of basic tips, but if they really wanted to really benefit and really advance,
Mhm.
I guess they need to contact you and you would work out a paid consultation to really carry them to the next level. Does it work like that?
Yeah, well, actually, I have two different programs, right?
Yeah.
Because I know people learn two different ways. So there's the DIY person, and then there's the done with you person. So there are some people that say, hey, look, I can do it myself. If you just show me what to do, I can do it. I have a course that I can provide them with the course. There's another group of people that say, look, I really need the guidance. I need the hand holding. I really want to work with somebody. Then I have my coaching program for them. So I'm capable of accommodating either person. I've had success both ways. Here's what I would say about that. Obviously, I love my course. I wouldn't have created it if I didn't, and I don't think there's value. Here's the challenge with the course is a lot of people will buy the course, but they won't finish the course. They'll buy it, they'll kind of get frustrated with it. They'll buy it, life will happen because really nobody's holding you accountable. You just use your own. But when you have somebody that's working with you and guiding you and telling you which ways to go and you can have that feedback with them. I've just seen more success with people by actually working with me one-on-one than I have with the course. It has nothing to do with the course. It's just human nature. It's just human nature that if you can work with somebody that you can ask them questions, that you can bounce ideas off of, that's just a better arrangement.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Wow. I guess twofold question. What would you say are the benefits now for again, you might have said this before, just give us the clear benefits of your service and where it carries people from A to Z. And we'll start there. And then actually the second question, let's go there. I'll go there. Do it that way.
Well, the benefits are getting on LinkedIn and having success, because it's almost like if you, Eric, went into a library, right? And you just went to the librarian and asked them for a book. Oh my gosh.
Right.
There's thousands of books, hundreds, thousands, depending on the library. There might be 1 million books in the library. And so you can wander around days and not find your path, find the book you want. I don't want anybody to have that, because there's so many people that come on to LinkedIn, think it's a quick fix, it's a quick hit, and boy, I'm just going to have this automatic success. They get on there for 15 minutes, they don't have any sales, and now they're gone. I don't want that to happen to them. I want to be realistic. I want people to come over here, but I want them to build their brand. I want them to build their business. That happens through relationship marketing. It happens over time. It's not going to be a quick success. It's not going to be, but you can cut down the learning curve by working with me, because I can show you where, no, don't do that. Just like the gentleman, I keep going back to it, but it's so relevant because it was just so recent, just yesterday. He would have continued down that path. If we had not met, he would have continued to keep posting,
Right.
Continue to not have any sales
Right.
related to travel and just be
Wow.
frustrated and quit. Oh,
Yeah.
LinkedIn isn't good. It doesn't work. It works, but you have to
Yeah.
work it the right way.
Absolutely. And what is, here we go to this question. What will be the future of this market of coaching and the future for people that want to use it as clients of yours? What do you see where is LinkedIn going?
Well, LinkedIn is just growing and growing. And here's what we know: your network is your net worth. And
Right.
there's no better place to build a professional network. So it's not just about having a group of followers. You
Right.
can go on to Instagram and collect 10,000 followers, 20,000 followers. You come on LinkedIn and collect followers. It's not just about followers. It's about networking. It's about having those people that can get you into rooms you couldn't get into, that can tell you about opportunities that you wouldn't have known about. See, your network is your currency. And
Right.
so when you can develop an active, engaged, professional network that can refer business to you, that's the key. See, it's about, Eric, it's about quality over quantity.
Right.
So you don't want a 10 pennies. It's better to have $1 than have
Hmm.
10 pennies.
Right.
So many people are looking at quantity. Oh, I got to have X number. No, you just have to have the right people. You don't have to have a lot of people. You have to have the right people that can connect you with other people. That's the goal. And as we get into a more global society, or more people are talking about now diversity and inclusion, how do you think you're going to get into those rooms? But because people know you.
I think also with COVID in
Yes.
particular, that COVID has kind of uh, closed the door in some
Mm-hmm.
regard
Mm-hmm.
to cold
Mm-hmm.
networking. You know, like, and when I say
Yes.
cold networking, I mean you're going to Barnes and Noble and connecting. Are you going to the grocery store connecting? Are you know what I'm saying? Just physical connection. I
Yeah.
think that because of that, and I think that people, it's a shift
Mm-hmm.
in humanity that that people are gonna venture out more to the internet. It's a
Yes.
safer uh community, and you can vet people if you need to, and you can feel more comfortable meeting people that way. And and of course you can, like, with you can show your credentials. I may have
Yeah,
a
absolutely.
hundred videos, and people, okay, yeah, I would like to be on the show. The guy has you know 10,000 at some point, 10,000, 50,000 subscribers, YouTube
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. Oh yeah, that I see value in coming on this show. You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? As opposed to the old way of, I'm gonna give you a card and
Mm-hmm.
I want to shake your hand. People don't even shake hands these days
That's
because
right.
of COVID. So I think that we're going to be thrust into the internet, into the different platforms like LinkedIn. And I personally would like to see LinkedIn acquire some of the capability of YouTube, in the
Mm-hmm.
sense that, yeah, you can have a live at some point,
Mm-hmm.
and people can pay to make comments, that you can
Mm-hmm.
have a commercial, that you can get X number of views, that it can take on those monetary qualities
Mm-hmm.
for uh LinkedIn that they have for YouTube. Are there any other developments that you haven't seen that you want to see LinkedIn take advantage of, and be of advantage, be of, and of that will be of advantage, that will advantage the community?
Sure. I think you hit on that. I think they're moving in that direction. As I see TikTok, Instagram, Facebook is creating more of what they call the creator economy, a
Right.
creator community. I think they're moving in that direction. And that's what I want to see. I want to see
Right.
more people who are creating content get the rewards for that content. So they're moving that way. But to get back to what you said, I think you're spot on. I think the people that are still relying on that. And there's nothing wrong with, the local hand to hand, type thing. But just look at it this way. If I'm just local and I focused on that, unless I have just a local shop and I can only go local,
Right.
I can't even get to people in a different city. I can't get to
Right.
people in a different state. So I'm limiting my market. I'm limiting how far and how fast I can grow. Where if you go on social media, you can have customers anywhere in the world. But you
Correct.
have to get on, you have to be good, you have to build your audience, you have to engage with that audience, and then you can sell to that audience. And that takes time. That takes time. It takes caring about people, it takes providing value for people over an extended period of time. And for the people that are resistant, oh, I don't want to do that. I just want to go out and meet people. And you're going to be the dinosaur.
Right.
You're just going
Right.
to be the dinosaur. You're going to limit yourself. You're going to limit your growth. And not that you can't have success, but you won't have the type of success that you will if you get on social media. And definitely if you get on LinkedIn, you can really grow, because it's about leverage, right? It's about leverage. So it's not just about you meeting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 customers. It's about you meeting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 connection points that can refer you to 10, 15, 20 customers that can get you in front of groups. That's what it's about. At the end of the day, that's what it's about.
Absolutely. I think that it's I there's nothing wrong from the local standpoint.
Sure.
Of It's kind of like the icing on the cake dynamic that you can still meet people person. But I think that, as you are saying, that it can expand exponential, whatever, and it expands you at a hyper growth and a
Yes.
hyper growth capacity to just to do what would take a month, you could do in a week.
Exactly.
And you can just
Exactly.
meet various individuals, and they can expand your network and expand business, and and you you may not even need, in some platforms, you don't even need a storefront.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that, cause and then you know exactly what you need in this. Okay, I only need a computer person to kind of help
That's
me
right.
here, and so it kind of just allows you to focus in and cut the overhead costs, and
Mhm.
just boom in the category of sales and
Yeah. And
network.
one thing you said, Eric, that I want to just kind of touch on that was just really, really
Yeah,
brilliant is if you and
thank
I
you.
meet in the in the street locally, if you and I meet locally, well, that's just you and me. And
Right,
when we leave, that is gone. That so that
right,
whole nobody. When you do something on, like we do this live, I mean, when we do this show, or when you do something on social media, it stays. So
right,
it's not just Eric that sees it. Now other people can see it, and they can see it months from now. So they
right,
can see some. I mean, my goodness, you go on YouTube, you type in how to do something, you'll pull up videos that are years old, but it's still
right,
relevant. Those people are still getting value. They're still making money off of a video they may have created 5 years ago. So that's the beauty of social media is that it's not just transitory. It's not just I'm going to meet one person and that's going to be it. Hey, you can meet so many people. As you say, it's just more efficient. I can go out and I can spend 30 minutes talking to one person at Starbucks. That's just 30 minutes. In
right,
that same amount of time, I could have connected with maybe 30 people on social media and have multi conversations. And then really, as you said, vet them before I spend time with them. And that's just
right.
so valuable.
That is so valuable, and also, like, if you meet people face to face, just out of courtesy considerations, you can only talk briefly,
That's it.
and somebody, I don't know you, wait a minute, well, is you're talking to me 30, 40 minutes, I mean, nobody's going to do that.
Right.
Then they're
That's
going to
right.
talk to you a little bit, they're going to business card, they may lose the business card.
That's
But if
right.
if they can go, see a program like this, or see your live, get introduced, go check out his live, and and you can answer all the just about all the questions, or just a great number of questions for them to feel comfortable, and they can feel comfortable because you're not right up in their face.
That's right.
Um, then they're apt to go and seek you out and say, well, I really, yeah, I've been having problems. I've been like the guy with the travel agent. I've been playing around with this, and I don't know what I'm doing. I really need somebody who's an expert that can guide me and help me get my sales up. And then once they have success, then it's one thing to say, even when you tell somebody, oh, that's the person to go to. Because I know that notice that people usually go to people, say you have your something, window breaks or something in your house, but by some kind of way, if you live out in a rural area and I don't know, so some type of animal does something. Okay, now you're searching for someone, at the last moment, but
right.
but and say that may be the first person's reaction. Okay, and they go look and they said, well, wow, I saw this guy, I had this problem at church or wherever they had, and I got this fixed or whatever. And then somebody else said, well, I had some problems too, and sometimes I have some issues. Do you know of somebody that that could help me out? And you're like, yeah, I've this guy, I looked up his stuff, and I saw the program, and yeah, I recommend this person to you. And they go look up and they're like, great. And then all of a sudden, aunt, uncle, everybody else is getting it and stuff like that. And it's comfortable, it's safe, it's informative. It can, in some cases, entertaining. And people, it's the new world order of how to do business. People feel comfortable in people lashing on and taking a content creator, or either a what you would say, are either a business person seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all you said is so spot on, is that people was what we call know, like, and trust, right? So this is the easiest way that they can get to know, like, and trust you. And a lot of my business comes through referral, just because I've helped somebody. And as you said, hey, I know somebody and they're struggling. Here's this person, here's that person. So word of mouth is so powerful. I would much rather do business with somebody that's been referred to me than some stranger. I'm going through the Google. I'm trying to have to go through Yelp and try to figure out all this stuff. Or I go to somebody and say, hey, I have this issue. Do you have anybody you can? Oh yeah, I had that issue last month and I used this person and they were wonderful. Here, go talk to them. That's one of the things I love doing. I'll give you a perfect example. I have a good friend of mine that has had to take care of her elderly mother.
Right.
And so one of my connections on LinkedIn is Roz Jones. And so everybody because a lot of us are in that situation, right? If you're in your 30s, 40s, and 50s, maybe your parents are getting up there, they're having to be cared for. So you're having to right there you go. And I tell you, and I had to do that with my wife's father. If you ever have to do that, I promise you, that is a whole different world. There's forms, there's this, there's that. It's so foreign to you. It's so foreign. It helps to have somebody walk you through that. So I reach out to her. I connect them with her, because guess what? I can't help them, but I know somebody that can help them. I know somebody that can help them. And so that's the type of referrals that you want. But guess where I met her? I met her through LinkedIn. I think I met her. I met her through LinkedIn. And I wouldn't refer people to her if I didn't know the quality of what she's doing. That's what it's all about. Know, like, and trust.
Right. And I guess we have to say, because I think the young people are getting into it. The older people, and I'm 52, the 50s new 30.
Yeah, that's right. I believe that. I believe that.
Yeah, they're going to have to, and I think that they're going to move in that direction due to the fact of COVID. You have no choice. You can't. It's not even safe physically these days to interact that way. So you need to go to the internet, or LinkedIn, kind of see what's going on if you're looking for certain things. And another thing too, I think byproduct is that if somebody's going to the extent, not in all cases, but let's say in 95, 98% of the cases, if somebody's going to the extent of creating a video or a live or whatever type of creative content, this is a serious person. What I'm starting to notice now, the big problem that's going on is that, you know, you call for a plumber. I'm gonna get, okay, here you go. Here's an example. There was we had a situation. We have a forum in another place, okay, and we had a water trough issue, and I contacted on the phone, I don't know how many plumbers that were supposed to be, you know, in the business 30, 40 years, well people, but there was this young guy that was maybe 30 years old or whatever. That guy came out there in 15 minutes and solved the problem. And what I'm saying, and I'm trying to make the connection, I think that's going to be more the connection in the future, is that you're going, if somebody's willing to go on LinkedIn and advertise, I'm not saying in all cases, I'm going to say in probably 98%, and they're really willing to take the time to show you about their business, tell you about their business, they're going to be more likely to do a good job and proper job. Than somebody just a random phone number, or you just look up a, you know, just a little number, you don't have a picture, you don't have a video, you don't, you know, or whatever. Because nowadays people are not doing, and I have to tell the public, I hate to tell you people, that people are just, there's no honor. People are not really committed to it's as if you, how can I say, it's as if, you know, you have to beg somebody and pay somebody, you have to beg them and pay them to get to do something. So I'm saying somebody that's creating content that's in a certain area, they're already a motivated person. You know, and they can be held accountable because you can, you know, reviews. You know, you know what I'm saying? So I'm saying that is really going to separate the the boys from the men, the women from the girls. Somebody who is motivated to do business, as in the old way, to where, you know, they just, you find a number or somebody give, sometimes people recommend people, you got to be careful too. And they don't have, they don't have any content or whatever, and so they can't be held accountable.
That's so true, because I mean, it's easy to go on their profile and if they post to just say, hey, I worked with John, and John just didn't do a good job. So you don't want your reputation getting out there and being a negative reputation. So it's you're going to be one of those situations where you want to be upable or up front. You want to be quality, and it's just your reputation that's at stake, and especially on a professional platform like LinkedIn, where other professionals see it. You definitely want to have a great reputation.
Definitely. Okay, so yeah, this is a great show. People definitely let's go here. And I was going to say, but you can say it, you can do it much better than I can. Yeah, tell us where we can find you. And let me add this. I think that new businesses, people coming from college, or people that have been laid off, or whatever the case, this is definitely an individual that you may want to reach out to, especially startup businesses and really any type of businesses that want to make the transition from just being the physical landmark or whatever, you know, storefront store, to actually digitizing themselves, if you will, and creating a presence that they can expand their market reach. I kind of sense that you are the person that they need to reach out, because they don't understand this. They don't quite understand how do I get on LinkedIn, or what I need to do with LinkedIn. How can I grow? How can I get a job? How do I present myself? All of these questions that people have to make the transition into the new market, global world, in internet, LinkedIn, YouTube, whatever, LinkedIn we're talking about here, marketplace. Where do they find it?
Absolutely. I make it, like I said, here's another tip for your audience. I always tell people to own your name. And so my name is Shawn Hill. And so you can just go to Shawn, SHAWNE That's going to take you to my calendar. And here's what I would say. Let's just have a conversation. I'm real easy, no hard sell, no hard pressure. Just it's going to take you to my calendar. Just put on my calendar what you want to discuss. If I can help you with that, believe me, we'll set aside some time. If I can't, I'll get back. I promise you, I'll get back with you and tell you if I have a resource that may be a better fit for you. Because here's what I don't want to have happen. I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want to spend my time with somebody I can't help. So at least reach out to me. Let me see if I can help you. Let me see if we're a good fit. If we're not, I probably have a resource that I can get you to. So all you have to do is go to www.ShawnEHill.com and get on my calendar. Once again, Shawn spelled SHAWN Hill.com, because I know there's several ways to spell that, spell Shawn. But always own your name, and you'll make it so much easier for people to find you.
Right. We'll put those links in the body of
Thank you. I
the
appreciate
program. Yes, sir. And for those that have been smart enough, are have made that journey to LinkedIn, where can they find your creative content in terms of the live?
Sure.
And what time? And what time do you Eastern time? You know, the time frame that you show your content.
Absolutely. Well, I often like to say myself and my partner, Tommy Durrell, my co-host, my partner in crime. And let me just say this quickly. I think that's the beautiful part of LinkedIn and relationships is you get to know people. You get to work with people. You get to grow with people. Now we become very, very good friends. Person I really, really admire and I've been blessed to be able to work with. We do our show 6 days a week. Like I said, we're some of the hardest working men. I like to call us the hardest working men on LinkedIn. We do our show 6 days a week at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. So that'd be 11 Eastern Time. And if you have a business, especially if you're a coach, that's who we mainly target with tips on how to improve and take your business to the next level. So just go to my profile or just look for me on LinkedIn, Shawn Hill. You'll see my picture, and 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, 11 Eastern, Monday through Saturday.
Great. Like I said, this has been a blessing. It is Sunday.
For me as well, Eric.
It is a blessing.
Really enjoyed it.
Right, and I'm sure that you have opened the minds of so many now to understand, that frustration of, just being a local store, and there's not a vehicle, there's not a way that I don't know what I'm doing. There's not a way that I can make that jump into the digital world and really expand myself. And maybe and maybe cut some costs down and at the same time increase profit. So definitely you offered that consultation to find out more about that.
And let me say this. As well. Even for your local store, even if you have a local store, one of the best places for you is social media. Because if you're local, most of the time you're just relying on walk by traffic, drive by traffic. But once you get on LinkedIn or any social media platform, guess what? People that wouldn't normally drive by your store will all of a sudden recognize you. Now they'll say, "Oh, you're in Dallas, like I'm in Dallas. You're in whatever, like I'm in. Where are you at? Oh, you're right. Hey, you. It's so much easier for you to create an audience for, like I said, for low cost and reach people at scale on social media than it is even just waiting on people to just wander by your store."
Yeah. Now let me ask you this: with conference, okay, yeah, go to conferences, but are there conventions? Are there the speaking engagements that you can be hired out for? Or is there any type of conference networks in terms of events? Let's go to Dallas, let's go to Atlanta, let's go to New York, let's go to DC, and let's have a LinkedIn convention from the coaching standpoint, that people actually do want to see you in the flesh. Is that something that may take place in the future?
Man, that would be a blessing. I would love that. I think for right now, if you looked at most meeting planners and things like that, I think kind of a lot of people are just holding their breath, to see where this whole thing shakes out and where it plays out. I think what happens is there's usually not like a conference for LinkedIn. It's just that I may show up at a conference, right? So
Right.
If authors are at a conference already trying to figure out social media, how to get their names out there, I'll come in and speak to them about LinkedIn. And so it's kind of, you go where the people are, where the conferences are. And man, I love that. I hope we can get to a point, because I love doing this. I love being in front of people. I love talking to people, where we can get to a point where we can do conferences again. I miss those.
Right.
Zoom is great, but man,
Right.
I really miss that face to face.
Absolutely, absolutely. So one thing I can tell the audience, this is just groundbreaking. It's amazing that we have met such a gentleman, that offers so many, such a great service, because I think that that's where people are. And the timing of this interview is interesting too, because of COVID. People are going to have to make the pivot. Some people are getting laid off, and now you have to stir up those gifts inside of you, and create another opportunity for yourself.
That's right.
And business is drying up in terms of people that already have businesses, because people are fearful to come out and for it makes sense to come out in public. I know down here in Georgia, they just closed this, from what I understand, it just closed the schools for the elementary, middle, and high schools. So I'm just saying, we're becoming more of at this point, that type of community. So you're going to be forced to find other ways to get your business out there, and the way of the sweat, the over sweating of just the storefront is almost going to be somewhat in the dinosaur category. You're going to have to get out of your comfort zone. Absolutely. And you're going to have to get to the internet and create, greater opportunities there. So this is definitely timely interview, and that it can really, I think, help a lot of people make that transition in whatever form of fashion that they need to. And again, just tell us one more time, because sometimes people may be drinking tea, and just tell us again your show time for those that own LinkedIn, and other ways that they can get in contact with you. And then I think we've at least at this point have given at least one great interview. Who knows what the future holds for other ones? Go ahead.
Sounds great, Eric. And once again, thank you for the honor of being on your show. It has been a privilege. I've watched you for a while, and you do a great job, and just want to encourage you to continue to do the great job that you do. If somebody wants to get in touch with me, on the best way to do it is go to ShawnEHill.com, SHAWN ehill.com. Get on my calendar and let me help you. Let me just kind of walk you through some things. It won't be long. I promise, no hard sell. And just get on my calendar that way. Also, if you want to see us, hey, we, like I said, Tommy Durrell and I are the hardest working men on LinkedIn, and we do it 6 days a week at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, LinkedIn Live on my page, 11 a.m. Eastern time. So we love to have you. We love the engagement, and we just love connecting with people.
Thank you. So audience, that's it. We really appreciate him. He's a busy man. We're blessed also on our end for him to come on, and he really just I'm in culture shock. I'll be honest with you. I'm totally blown away and haven't really thought about, you know, about being an entrepreneur and being an entrepreneur, but where I can go to
Mhm.
higher heights if I use, you know, just the tips he gave today were mind blowing for so
Thank
many
you.
in myself. So that's definitely go visit him, his page, and interact and if there's, I know there's people out there that would need his service. Don't be bashful, don't be shy. Get little entertainment and get over there and meet him and allow him to make you a better version of yourself business wise,
Okay.
as a person that wants a job in so many, you know, fashion and ways. So we're blessed, and we will end this video and definitely go and get to know him and be and get acquainted and use his products.
I look forward to talking to him. Thank you, Eric.
Okay, thank you, audience. Enjoy, and we'll be back next time, and we will end this video. Thank you so much, audience. Okay, have a blessed day. So, oh yeah, so you want to subscribe, you want to like, and if you want to comment, you know, keep your comments good and stuff because this is good material. And we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
See you next time.